Because we are living in a very complex world where the rate of change of everything is happening in front of our eyes, we find ourselves puzzled by so much information coming to the marketplace. The television is informing us how to dress, eat, sleep, and we're becoming much more confused about what is right and wrong. People are searching for something more. They're looking for a spiritual response to mechanistic lives, to lives of technology, lives where they lose their sense of personal expression. And it's this quest for a more deeper level of living that has led them to spiritual search. And therefore we're living at a point in history where people are looking in all sorts of different corners. Call it New Age, call it the Eastern philosophies. And they know that Cabalá, whether they are Jewish or not Jewish, they know that Cabalá is something very old and very wise. So there are many people who think that in Cabalá are answers to the problems they face today. It seems strange that something like Cabalá should be able to respond to modern day circumstances. And the truth of the matter is that if we leave the wisdom of Cabalá in the very deep depths of those books, it's very hard to apply. But Baruch Hashem, with the beginning of Hasidism, Hasidut took the teachings of Cabalá and made it practical and applicable to every day. For example, we learn through Hasidut a way of changing the way that we see the world, a different way of thinking, a different way of feeling, learning to balance ourselves, how to raise our children so that they will have confidence, how to be able to understand how we can create depth of relationships and meaning in relationships. These are very practical things, and yes, they even come from the Cabalá once we understand human personality. So really in Cabalá we already have a psychology of the individual, as well as understanding the nature of creation, the laws that underline creation, and the bigger issues of what a creation is. In the last 12 years, I have been to over 300 cities in the world. What amazes me is how many people are so keen to understand and to learn the Torah of spirituality in a way which would affect their lives. For example, I even went to the Dalai Lama not so long ago. The reason I went to the Dalai Lama was to ask him to send his Jewish followers back to their origins, to their roots, because there are tens of thousands of Jewish people involved in the East. And let me tell you, the people that I meet, the Jewish people who follow the East, are genuine, are searching, want to have more meaning, more depth. It's just that the normal approach that synagogues, rabbis, Jewish institutions have to these people doesn't speak to them. They want spiritual meaning. And that's why I went to the Dalai Lama to tell him, let them go back and discover Jewish spirituality. But it was very, very interesting because when I was with him, he asked me to share with him a Jewish teaching. So I taught him what chesed is. Chesed is the way that we give of ourselves to the world, the way we share ourselves with other people. And I started to use words, and I used the word compassion. When I used the word compassion, he stopped me and he said, Rabbi, but that's what I teach. And I said to him, and now you know where you learnt it from.